Hey guys, my name is Citiac and welcome to the Foolsopolis here in City Skylines, where today we are going to be building a brand new industry. Now actually guys, for some suggestions, what we're going to get done next, because I give you the option of the farming, no not the farm industry, the forest industry, the fishing industry and the oil industry. They're the three industries that we don't currently have in the city at the moment. There's a lot of comments for fishing, there's a lot of comments for oil too, and it got me thinking, yo, if I was to do an oil industry, where would I put it? And I came up with a perfect position. Now last episode we got a bunch of zoning in. It's going to take a while for that to get built, which is why we are going to be creating our industry today. And I'm taking some inspiration from the city of Los Angeles right now. If you don't know, I'm sure a lot of people do know, but if you don't know, randomly in the middle of the city of LA there is an oil field. I think it's in Inglewood. Did I say it right? I think I said it right. Now, obviously, they didn't build the city and drop an oil well there, or oil field, or whatever you want to call it, oil industry. The kind of city just kind of grew around it. But I've been to LA. I've kind of drove through the city, down the highways, on the streets. And I've actually drove past it. And it was kind of weird to see the landscape kind of slightly change, where one side of the road, it's all built up. The other side, it's hills with these big oil wells pumping. It's a sight to see. And I'm not going to be placing the oil industry directly in the middle of the city. No, we'll put it on the edge, but eventually the city will grow around it. So that's what we're going to do today, boys. We're going to get everything all rocking and rolling. So if you do enjoy this, want to see more of the Foolsopolis, then please make sure you smash that like button down below. If you're new in here, make sure you do subscribe so you get notified when the next episode does come out. Now, I want to take a look at this area here. Previously, we kind of added a little bit of hills to it, which we can kind of utilize. I mean, you can kind of see where this is going, the Inglewood kind of style stuff. But to be able to build an industry here, there's a couple of things I'm going to need to get done. So this might spill out into the next episode as well. It depends on how much we can get done right now. But basically, right, any industry needs good kind of transport connections. When you take a look at our farming industry, we've got a highway connection just there. We've got all this train line connecting to it with all these kind of stops. We have a little bit of a harbour getting stuff out, and then it kind of all extends into wherever. The ore industry, has again the connection to the highway. It's got the shipping access, the trains coming in. We've made sure that if you are in the industry side of things, you can get in and out so damn easy, thus making it as kind of effective as possible. Now I need to do the same here, so I'm thinking we're going to do this road coming down. It's probably going to bend a little bit to kind of get away from this, and we're going to have a highway connection just there. I'm going to do another one here which will be directly in the oil industry, and I'm thinking this road coming down here, it will connect to the road it connects to there, but it'll come down and it'll pass through here, have another connection there. So we're kind of in the vicinity going to have three, if you want to class this as number 4, highway connections. We're going to have bridges going over as well, so I might do some form of another bridge. I'm not too sure where I'm going to attach it, but I feel like around here will be, I mean, the highway connection there that will probably come up, can bend and kind of connect some over there. I don't know just yet. But we've got these 2 train lines. The left one here is passenger. This right one is industrial, so we can use that to transport the goods a little bit easier as well. We've got the cargo airport nearby. Now, it is quite a train journey to get down here. So what I'm thinking of doing is, maybe at some point, I probably won't do it today, but add another train stop on this side and then run the train lines going down that way to connect up. So it just makes it a little bit easier for those guys to get goods to the cargo airport. It's going to be quite exciting. I'm not 100% sure just yet on whether I'm going to do a shipping connection. I'll let you guys decide in the comment section if you think I should add a shipping connection in. So today's episode then, I want to focus on getting all the bare bones set up, ready for this industry area. We might be able to get some industry in. We'll see how things rock and roll. But I'm going to need all the infrastructure to begin with anyway. So. Let's first start then with these kind of roads. Now, I'm going to keep it to the ones with the trees because I feel like we're trying to beautify this place and it's going to be so damn delicious. And what I'm going to do, right, is I'm going to anarchy this through and we'll come back to it. There's a good reason why I'm anarchying it through. One, so it's not connected. I can then drop that, raise that. It's all good. But I'm just trying to get my setups all ready. Now, we are going to slightly be going uphill here. So if I quickly look at the topography right now. So I'm thinking that we are going to want to have whatever the highway road is where I create it, going through there, so we got the hills on either side right now, that road will then probably make its way up in this direction. So I'm just kind of setting up a couple of straight points of where we want it to get connected. We'll probably then have it all kind of connect just here somehow. So that's where we'll probably then drop some kind of a roundabout where this road comes down to connect, and that connects to it as well. And then that will come down here and then eventually connect something down here. So if I just quickly pick a 10 marker just there, so that's where we'll have the highway connection. Here, we'll do it off this one. So I know it's going uphill, but we can sort this all out. It's not a problem. And then for this one, I think we'll do it just... Where is it? We'll do it just here. So they should be decently spaced apart. I'll delete that road back and it'll eventually bend into it. It should be far enough away from that. One there, one there. That will connect down to there. This road will kind of bend round and go through. And then we'll have all the little side roads going off. That will kind of bend and connect up to there. I think we've got it. I think we've low-key got it right now. Last thing I will do is trying to run with the terrain. Yeah. That should be it. Right, okay, I'm happy with how this is looking then. So let's get all this connected. So, using the connection tool, because it is my best friend these days. I don't know what I'll do without this tool. I'm in love with it. Not in a weird way, but I am in love with it. Right, boom, there we go. So don't worry about the roads kind of going a little bit all over the place in terms of the terrain differences, because we can sort that out. Now, what we want to look for right now then is the straight section. So there's a nice solid straight section there. I could probably make that straight section a little bit wider, because that's where we're going to have a roundabout. So if I run it to like that, yeah, it's kind of elevated, but we'll sort that out in just a moment. Then if I pick a point, so the whole of this here is about a 45. So a 22-ish, 23. We'll go for that 23 just there. I'll bring that out by 10. And I won't build it yet, because I don't know how bad the traffic's going to be in this area. But that's where it can potentially happen, and that's where the road, the 4-lane road will go this way. It might cross over. It might even just kind of continue down. Oh, it could connect to this road. Maybe I do a beautiful bridge. It goes up and over. And if I did it maybe correct, I could maybe get another highway connection there. But that is a headache for another day. That is a headache for another day. Let's get back to the connections anyway. Let's get back to these connections. So, make this one quite a nice bend. There we go. And then we'll connect to this. So, I'm liking the windiness. The more we get away from the city, the more it all then starts to change. We get a couple of bends, we get a couple of winds, a couple of turns. It all kind of happens for us. It's glorious. Absolutely glorious. Right, let's bring it to there. So we'll sort all those elevations out in just a moment. We'll bring this a little bit further down. Now again, we're going to anarchy it through. I ain't worried too much just yet. And this is going to be quite a dominating bend, this one here. Reduce that. Boom. There we go. Tantalizing. And just so we know what's actually going to happen, I'm going to bring this out by so far and then bring it down to 0. Just so I know we're kind of doing something with this. Now, if I then select all the elevated section now to be on the ground, what that's going to basically do for us now, once I terraform, is it's going to create a nice little mound for us that I can kind of brush out some flat areas and pieces that we can kind of really work with. So if I then get the smoothing tool, up the brush size, and if I pause it so we can get done a little bit quicker, up that brush size as well. There we go. Push it as much as we can. So try and smooth this off here as well. Try and take the dents out. Because I want it to feel flat, and then I want the buildings to make it look like, oh, okay, yeah, there is elevation changes. That's kind of how I want it to work and come together. And that should do just it. It's not amazing, but it's bendy enough. It follows some of the elevation changes, and then we can create these really cool little segments of where we have our kind of industrial areas built up within it. So don't worry too much about crossing that. We'll soon fix it very soon. Soon fix it very soon. Yeah, right, Snake, you are a freaking genius. So what I'm going to do then is we're going to try and split these up into the individual areas. So we'll use the industrial road as the main roads coming off this. Then we'll use the little side streets as everything else. But basically, right, if I go back to the topography right now, we want to have a couple of areas. I want to utilize the trains coming off this. So I want to be able to kind of drip and drop the trains here, there, and everywhere. If I do eventually have a cargo line running down here as well, we got to think about that with the integration as well. So in reality, we need the kind of production area round about there, the closest point to the train line down here. That's what we need. So I'm thinking, right, if I go back to pausing, because it's easier to terraform when you're in pause mode, and try and smoothen this out as much as we can. So the more we smoothen it, the less the elevation kind of feels and changes, basically. And what we'll do as well, we'll kind of figure out how far away from this we're going to drop the trains in. Because what I'm going to do, oh, I didn't get that connected there. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to kind of do a V down here somewhere, allow this to run up, turn off, and then come back down maybe. So it gives me enough spread to go in maybe in that direction, that I can then start getting other areas connected up. So in reality, if I come out by a 20 and run that by the 40, that's where I can have the trains connected. I mean, then again, I could just come bring it up and do a little V like that. There's no stress. It's not, you know, that difficult. But that's where we can have the, well, one of the exploitation areas anyway. So if I get this down ready, just simply drop it there, just so I know where my spacings are ultimately going to be. So with that there, I want to work with this little section first, and as being the production area where we turn the oil into the petroleum and... What's the other one it turns it into? Petroleum? I want to say plastics. I'm not 100% sure. I can't actually remember off the top of my head right now, which is hilarious. So we're going to create then a... Let's pick it from here. A road coming out. I'm going to run it so far down. And then here we'll create... Because it's going to be kind of like a flattish area. That is a 40. So if I came up by a 10, went across, and then we'll run this down by another 40, run it down by another 40, and then we'll come up by maybe, oh, I want to run, or be able to run stuff in that direction. So what if I came up by a 20 there? So we're kind of creating like, or trying to now create our little grid formats. So I'm just going to mimic this for a quick minute. So we've gone a little bit wider on that one. So I can definitely push this a bit further. So this is how we are now going to set up our runs. It's how we're going to set up our industry. I know it's going slightly uphill. I don't want to do too much, because then you kind of lose what you're trying to gain. But this is... I might have to upgrade this to a 4-lane road as well. That's probably what I'm thinking. So why don't I do that real quick? Where is it? 4-lane road. There we go. And then we got to pick a decent spot where we can kind of filter all this stuff in. So going back to this, we're still kind of semi-flat. I can bring it like so far in and have it centered in the middle, because that is a 40. I can do a 20, which would be there, right? 20, 20, yeah. Come up by 20 there. So then you kind of filter it in, but then that will eventually cause traffic issues. But that's not what you're trying to accomplish. We're not trying to accomplish something like that. So you would want to pick an area where the main dragger road comes in, and then everything else then pretty much comes off it. So maybe we delete this. Maybe I delete that there, and then delete this so far back. So I'm thinking of where the roundabout is going to be dropped. So... where is it? I always lose where I am with all that. So that's the crossing section. So to be honest with you, I could do it. I could just pretty much leave it as it is. And just kind of end that there and let it do the rest of the work for me. And then if I go up by another 10, because then that's 30. If I do one more to match this, and then 40, then I've kind of created my gap, you know, where I want to connect to it. So I'm making this as gridded as I can. So it gives us then, no matter what road you're on, because that's the main road to get in and out, that ability to kind of turn off early to get on this side down there, or if you're going straight down to the import-export area. Now, I do have to be a bit careful because some of our kind of oil buildings, production buildings are quite large. They can be quite large. This factory's okay. The oil refinery plant, that's actually quite small, so it would fit within all of this where we can do all of our productions. And what I could do as well, to make things that a little bit more interesting, I could add another export area there and there, just so it's not all reliant on that one section. But you got to be careful to where the stuff then kind of sticks out. So I could run a 10 by 10 there. I could do another 10 here to mimic what we've got. And if I do a 10 by 20, oh, that messed up. So this looks really quite vast. Is probably the best way to put it. And if I did that one there, so this one's a 30, it's a little bit different. But they're different areas. I can dig slightly into the mountain section, but this is going to be our production area. So, yeah, very, very interesting. I think I might add another road in on this side. But if I just then delete you, or if I then get the connection set up there to there, there might be a roundabout here at some point. You just never know. Right, go quite big on the bend. There we go. Very good. So I know it's only really one road in, but we're going to be heavily relying on the trains dropping the cargo to where we want. So that's where we have our production buildings. It's probably where we're going to have the main building as well. And then all the processing buildings, which I'm going to call them processing buildings, like the oil wells, they're going to be all little roads that string off into their many, many directions. So I won't drop anything down just yet. This is just as we are. We're then going to go back to these little roads here and then start to kind of set up how I want it to be. So if I kept that as a roundabout, if that was going to be a roundabout, I could actually come out just slightly and have it end there. I mean, it can have it end there. It could be a road that then continues to go on. But we'll just kind of keep it there for now, just so it's kind of in the best way to put it. So in terms of the topography right now, I know we're going up there. There's a little bit of a dense section just here. So I'm thinking I'm going to come out just here right now. So if I come out by a 25, and then we're going to play around with a 10 by 10 bend, ending that just here. And then from this, I'm going to drop a little road that goes up by 20. Going to drop one that goes down here by 20 as well. And I'll bring one just here, coming out by about a 20 as well. And we'll go up to there. So these little kind of sections. Oh, I should really be doing these as side streets, like the ones that stick off. And we can have a couple of oil wells dotted around there. So that again slowly starts to fall away. I'll do another 20. And then the reason I got it in this view is so I can see what's going down. Do a 15. And we'll do one to match it just there, 15. Leave it like that. So that's where we start to have some of the oil wells dropping down as well. So that will be kind of really, really handy for us. And then we'll do some over here, we'll do some over there, we'll do some down here, and then it all slowly falls together. So that's quite easy to drive over there. Stuff around here, we'll have to have all the train line all set up for them. So this oil kind of area is going to be quite big. I'm thinking, you know what, we will do the main building. I'll at least build the main building. But I'm thinking it'll probably be a good idea if I implemented maybe one additional 4-lane road. I mean, because one thing I'm not doing right now is bringing them over here. So I'm forcing them to be staying this side of the train track. Interesting. Interesting, Seniac. So, keeping the topography, because I want to see where we're going with this. I could come off this, so if I came up by a 10, and I could create some bends, and if I came out by a, or come out by a 15, and try and get them to attach, I don't know how it's going to happen, but I think I'll delete this. I'll delete that, and, because I'm going to try and bend that to there, and then I'll probably run that in this way. Right. Let me delete that. I'm just trying to see if I can do something a little bit different. So that would be a 10 away. And I'm thinking, is that type of connection what I want? Maybe, yeah, because I could delete this. And have it then running into there. Running this to, let's say, there, and then it kind of bends up to here. No, I'll get it to bend directly to there. So then our connections, so the rest of our connections right now, one takes place here, one takes place there, and then that bends up. There's no other connection here that keep it as it is. Aha! Okay, we got our main runs on the go. We have our main runs on the go. I'm just trying not to make it so ordinary and so basic and boring. So if I kind of bend that away, so yeah, it drops down, but that's fine. The elevation change on that, we can see all the oil wells on top are going to look so good. So good. I tell you this for free. So we got this area which runs down to the production buildings, multiple entrances, so it's not all filtered on the one side. Very good. We're going to implement the trains. They're going to run through as well. So on the train side of it, we're obviously going to have our main drag of run on the train line. If I do 2 just there to kind of play around with it. So, right, I'm thinking that will end there. And we'll filter from that way unless I created the bend there. And then in this way and then there and have it run there. What's the difference in the topography? It's probably easier to run it this way around than that way because of the sheer climbing of that. This is not too bad on this side. So with that in mind then, I'm going to do this just for the, obviously for the visuals, but end it like this. So if I brought this out, brought that in by a 6, brought this down, brought this in by a 6. It does nothing, it's just purely for show. And I'm going to utilize, hang on, what's that there? It's a 68. So if I go by a 58, I know we're 10 away. Right, delete her back a bit, because I'm going to redo that in a minute. So now a 10 by 10. And then straight up. I mean, to be honest with you, nothing's going to go on that anyway, so I can leave it as it is. That runs down to connect to this. So this is purely just for designer purposes, you could argue. So if I do a 10, then I need to do an 11. So run that a bit more. Hang on, we do a 6 by a 5. Nah, don't lie. I should have done it the other way around. I've got. No matter what happens, is that a 10? That's an 8. Right, let me do that again. I'm doing a 25 because obviously that's what allows us to. Oh, why am I doing it like that though? It doesn't make any sense. I wouldn't want to transport stuff to here anyway. That again doesn't make sense. So I can delete this to match there. So we know that this is the main, or it's going to be the main drag of train line. So what I could do here is go, hang on, we'll say how far this goes down. So if I do a 10, if I then do a 5. Oh no, it's not going to work like that. 10, 11, it ends there. If I do a 7, then a 6, it kind of looks like it's all going together and it's the end of the train line there. That kind of works. That does. So we'll bring this down, but this one here, we're going to do a V. So I bring it to 10 there. I just need to be a 21 by a 22 Oh, I see it. Okay, definitely got to push it further back. So we'll come out by a 5. 21. 21. And then it's connected in both directions, which is perfectly fine there. So it connects just there. Connects there. So we're all connected here. So the line is a 21 there, so there's a train waiting, it's perfectly fine. Train there, perfectly fine. That connects there, perfectly fine. And now we're on this run. So my options are right now is to get it dead connected to this. Or have something that kind of does a V here, that runs with it and maybe connects in. I've got a couple of options really, haven't I? I actually do, unless I had this continue down and then did a V. And had a V just there. Nah, I'm going to overcomplicate it. I really am going to overcomplicate it. So, in reality, we're deleting this bend on the corner. Because that now can continue that way. This here, it'll come up by 10, 21, 21-ish. It doesn't quite match up here. Right. I'm going to try and do what I can on this. So that should stay as a 21-ish. That's got the bend there. The bend is here. Works there. Works there. So we're all good. That connects. So we're going in both directions. And I'm going to run something parallel with this. So I'm going to bring this so far up. Because I don't really know ultimately where I'm going to take it. And I'm going to do the same thing here right now. So if I went there, 24. So if I did just a 2. And then a 21. 21. I've got a nice solid little V. That then I could do a 10 by 10 bend. And then connect that to it. I might actually redo this V, by the way. Because I'm now starting to see how ridiculous it is. Go back a bit. We'll go by 5. 5, 21. Alright, we'll go for a 26. I know it's longer than normal. No, that doesn't want to get it in either. It's because we're on a complete diagonal here. I mean, I could go by a 29. 29 implements it, and we still get to keep it. Right, we'll go with that. I think what I will do... I think there's 2 nodes here, isn't there? Bring that one in. Bring that one in. There. There. There's a slight dig, so it kind of curves with it, which is fine. So, let's get this connected. Oh, wrong one. Boom, boom, boom. So to there, trying to keep it down. Boom. And again, we'll terraform all that. So that bends around and V's in. There's enough drag there, not for anything to change. And then it's connected. It does look a little bit kind of skewiff and out of the place right now. But once we have everything all added in, all the oil wells, the additional kind of details, the trees as well, then this area will look completely different. I haven't even got all the roads connected in or added in yet. We've got to drop some of this down. Some of it's got to be sunken as well. And it's quite a big area that we've got to work with too. It is quite a big area that we've got to work with. I didn't realise the sheer vastness of this section that we're playing with right now. So that allows us then to extend the cargo line this way, and then we'll eventually have it end just over there. So it's not going to be a through route. It's going to be an end section. So we're not going to see trains travelling back and forth all the time. It's more this section here, the turn in here, where we're going to have them travel to connect to there. That's purely what it's going to be for. But Yeah, very interesting. Very interesting to see how this is going to approach. So, what I'm thinking of doing is, just for the purpose of making it look kind of good, is running maybe an additional train line there. Additional train line there. I know we got that gap. I'm just wondering if I can kind of select these both, centralize them, and just for the purpose of making it look kind of good, I could run this to a certain point. Actually, I could progress it kind of going down as if they're old train lines that are no longer in use. I think I might widen them a little bit more again. Or if I actually made it stop just here and then ran this one down there. And then should we make them bend with this? So if I came out to here, brought that one out to there. Because I think this will kind of end a lot nicer than just as it is. It'll kind of fill the gap up a bit more. And we're going to have to level them all out as well so they're at the same height. So this could be pretty cool to see. Is that a bit too close to there, you reckon? Or is it the elevation change? Maybe. So get rid of you. What I'll do now is the alignments. So from there to there, we'll sort out from there to there. Oh, there we go. Nope. There. What's going on with this one? There to there. That does feel really close on that one section, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. Right, I'm going to delete to there. Delete just to there. I think I went a bit too far then. Right, see what the smoothing does? In reality, we should have had it all the same height. That's what we should have done. And I think that's what we shall do. So if I select you to be the object height of, say, you. If I then select you to be the object height of you. And then if I select them three nodes there to be the same. No, let's go for them three. To be the same object height as you. This should all kind of run round together quite nice. So there to there, add that in. There to there, add that in. There to there, add that in. So then if I select here, all the way to, for example, there. There we go. Add that in. There down to here. Oh, did that not add it in? Boom. I'm doing this such the long way round, aren't I? No, I think that we'll get away with the rest of it. We'll get away with the rest of it. We'll do there to there, just for now. Oh, I see why. It didn't play out too well here. It was a bit too close. That's why the bend didn't really work. Right, okay. Smoothing all this out. There we go, there we go. Run down the edge right now with this. Smoothing it out as much as we can. We'll up the brush size as well. Falling away. I'm getting too hooked up on this train line situation there. But again, I add in the sand. And then, you know, you can see this it looks heavily industrialized. You'll have some disused train lines. And it all come together and it kind of just changes pretty nice. It's going to look really good once it's all finished. So that line there ends, which will eventually end at the train station, cargo airport, sorry, station over there. We can take away from this as well and add in a few more train lines onto that as they kind of disperse and transport the kind of industrial goods here, there, and everywhere. So this is going to work out really well. This is going to work out really well. I think we'll get the main building in then, just so we can kind of then zone the area. So main building, oil industry main building, and do you know what? I'm actually going to give it a nice little area. So picking the topography again, I'm thinking, do you know what? We should definitely place it in down here. So if I go off this section there and come out by 20, and then using my little side streets, if I come up by a 10, I'm going to push this down here by 20, and then get the main building in. So drop it right there. We're then going to designate this industrial area. There we go. It is on oil, yeah. Just make sure it's on oil. One thing I've got to remember too is I've got to place down the oil. Otherwise that'll be kind of awkward, wouldn't it? So this... Oh, hang on, I'm doing the wrong area here. So this will be your boy's oil industry. It might get bigger, it might get smaller, but... Nah, it won't get smaller. It'll definitely get bigger. If anything. So we'll keep it like that. We'll place down the worker barracks buildings now. We'll get a few of these bad boys down. So 1, I'll do a gap, 2, 3, 4. We'll do some more roads first. Kind of allows us to create the almost like a little neighborhood in a weird way, doesn't it? That's what it allows us to kind of do. So back over here then. I'm giving it a little bit of a gap for each one. It's quite uniform in some areas. So lots of worker barracks. We'll get the maintenance building down as well. Ooh, it's coming together, boys. It's slowly coming together. I'm liking it. Right, let's get the highway connections added in. Let's do all these, which means we're going to have to sink down some of this stuff. Yeah. Okay, I think we'll start with this stuff over here to begin with then. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to pick 2 points either side of the road. And we're going to drop these down quite drastically. We are then going to, with this tool, go straight there, which should be perfect height. And then from there to there, we'll gradient it. We'll then gradient it from there to there as it drops down. Oh, actually, we should have... can I undo that? No, I can't undo it. Maybe I should have graded that down as well, but, you know. 'Tis what it is. And then the road, all I want to do right now is elevate this up. I just want to elevate this little section here up. And then, do I go back a bit more? Yeah. And then just smoothing it so it widens the mouth. So by widening the mouth right now, it kind of feels like we're actually going over something. We'll bring this down as well. So I can run with a little bit of a rebalancing just here. Pushing that out too. It all kind of runs with it. So that one side there sorted. We'll just quickly sort out this one. So pretty much more of the same of what we've just done. To be honest with you, right, I could actually leave it as it is. And if I chose that node here to be risen, and then if we select there to there, because that's kind of so high at the minute, I can just elevate the road instead. Like that. And if I go back to about here, we can then choose our own elevation change. So that one's kind of cool. I like that one instead. That's better. So now the train lines don't get caught up on the roads themselves. We're now going to build the crisscrossing. So we'll do this side first because this is also going to have to incorporate the train lines dipping down. So we'll do this side first then. Same again then. We're going to first select... What's the best way to do it? So a node there, node there. We'll do the node there, node there. And if I try and heavily drop them down. And then we'll quickly go from here to here. There to there. So from that point going up to here, we'll raise it from there to there. Try and mimic it as best as we can, basically. From there to there. Dropping down. All good. Do it on this side real quick. Very good. And then I think what we'll... Well, actually, what we'll do first is the road going that way and that way real quick. Oh, that's a good point. I need to now figure out, because I can't do it this side perfectly because of the train line, but where we've done that in the past, what is the distance between here and here? It's a 24. That's all I need to know. That 24 marker, which is there, becomes this and this for that side, and then normal elevation, off that goes. Glorious. Glorious, he says. So what we're going to do then is then get the 26. There we go. 26. This is going to look really cool being so elevated over this area and the trains underneath. It really is going to feel like you're in the industrial side of the city. There we go. So upgrade, 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 upgrade. Making sure you got the ones facing the right way. That goes that way. Upgrade these middle ones, obviously for the lane math. Bam, 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 bam. And then one last thing we've got to do before we can do the lane connectors. Like that. And then that one's done. It's not perfect. I still got to do a little bit of the terraforming. But that one's done. That one's going to really work out very well. So if I now do the connection tool to get this and this connected. And I think it's set to elevate. So I've got to change that as well. Yeah, set to elevate. Add that in. The road bends away from it. So actually, technically, they could use that one if they want to turn off and drive straight down. They could use it. But that one there's connected. Now, I've got to replicate that on this side as well. So it shouldn't be too difficult. Because now this one doesn't kind of concern ourselves with that V. So we should be able to get away with this. So if I went from there to there. Oh, no, it still will concern ourselves with the V. Okay, I don't think I need to go that far back. I'll go here, there and there, to there and there. So, yeah, like I say, it doesn't need to drop down too much. So if I went to here, and we first leveled these out, and then from there, we'll do it to the connection. There. We'll go to there. Might as well make a show of it, right? So we're 10 away there, which is perfectly fine. Now we know what we're doing. We should be able to blitz through this. 10 and a 10. We know we are a 24 going across. So we're there with a 10 and a 10. I'll stick this one out a bit more. So then with this, we're doing a 20. Hang on, I'm going to elevate it. We're doing a 26. There we go. There we go. 26. There we go. Just quickly upgrade these. Make sure they're in the right direction. That's that way. Do them. Quickly upgrade these. I've got to do the lane connectors as well to make sure they're in the right lanes. And then... Oh, wrong button. Quickly sort you out. So, bam. To there. To there. To there. And to there. Very good. So, yeah, quite close by. I don't know how much traffic we're going to see around here. But very, very important. One is to kind of completely bypass the industrial area to get over there. One is dedicated for the industrial area. So I'll save this one because I don't think there's going to be any need for that one at the minute. We'll save on to that one. There's no need to do that just yet. So these are the most important ones. At least we can now get service vehicles to this area via the highway anyway. So that should work out pretty fine. We're going to just pad about right now with the terrain, especially for this little section there. And eventually we'll get all the sand down between the train lines so we can make it pretty much look like this area. They're all going through, so it will look really, really good. It will look really, really good. So there we go. Cargo trains can utilize the area and the junctions perfectly fine. With the passenger line running down here too, I can maybe... Oh, yes, a good point. I could maybe, implement a couple of passenger train lines stops along the way. You never know, boys. You never know. So this is looking pretty good then. We got that stop in there. Well, I said a stop. That junction in there and there. Oh, the lane connectors. Yeah, before I do forget. Just so they know what they're doing with the lane math. It shouldn't be a big issue. All this stuff down here, this kind of connections, we'll sort out when it all happens. Because sometimes, depending on how busy they are, I have to double lane before they approach the 4 lane. Oh, are these guys actually using this, or are they just caught up in the wrong lane? No, they're actually using it. So why would they use this one then? So they're clearly coming down here, turning off, drive down there. That's clearly a quicker route than turning here, getting off there, and that way. Is that what they're trying to say right now? Who knows? Who actually knows right now? So, great stuff. We've got the main building in. We got a little section here for the oil wells. There will be a lot more dotted all the way around. We'll actually implement one more little section to kind of show you how it's going to eventually progress to. So that would go up here. I don't think I'll want to do it there, but we'll make a road come off here. So I'm going to pick just there in that direction. And I'll kind of bend it slightly. Only ever so slightly. To then run in that way. And then from this, we'll get our little side streets. I love doing the side streets. It just adds a different vibe to it. And we're going to do like a nice little bend just there. We'll do one coming off just here. So I know we're kind of stamping downhill slightly, so we'll come out by a little bit of a 7 just there. We'll go up by a chunk just there. Go up a little bit more just over here. A little bit more just up there. Pushing that down. There we go. And then coming off this, we're going to bring it further down. We'll actually have a connection that touches both of them. Straight in like that. And then we'll kind of add some little points that kick off. As that little industry kind of area slowly comes to an end. There we go. So there's little sections like that. I think I might bulk up this road as it comes in. And just end it like that. A bit more of a bulkier area. And then we'll do some areas where we do some dirt roads. So the dirt road sections, that'll be for like the really, really, really small oil wells. It's like when they first founded the area. That's how it kind of built up. But I think this should be really, really good. It should be really good. So eventually we'll have, when the cargo line comes around, like I said, we'll have other connections for the train line. We will eventually run down and paint all the little gravelly bits on to get it all connected. We'll kind of do a quick one right now, see what it looks like. So pumping that all the way up. And obviously we will paint the little triangles as well. I don't want to get carried away right now. As much as I want to do it right now, I don't want to get carried away with this. I just want to kind of see what it would look like with pretty much four lanes of trains, even though we're not utilizing the 4 lanes. There's got to be a way in which I can kind of get the perfect brush size. Okay, not that. The perfect brush size, boys. So painting that down kind of gets rid of like a lot of the imperfections that you'll normally see. So I'm going to bring that to here. And then bring that brush size down. Because what I can do here is kind of like bend it. And simulate as if there was a V. Before we pump. There's me saying I don't want to get this done. And what have I done? I've just gone and painted this whole thing in. Actually, I don't really like that. Let me think of how I can redo this area. I could bring it in. I could leave it as something like that. Then obviously this will pretty much end just there. There's me going, I don't want to paint it all. And I'm just going to paint it all. I might as well finish it. To there. It just looks better, doesn't it? It just looks so much better. I think everybody should paint their train lines like this. Makes it look slightly more realistic, doesn't it? Right, I'll do this little triangle section here. I'm just going to call it a day. Because I could literally spend the whole time just painting. And that's not what we're here for. Right, paint you. There we go. There we go. So yeah, you can see how this is coming along. I was hoping I'd get some oil in today, but we'll save it for next episode. So this is the beginning. It took a lot of brain power in trying to figure out where I kind of want stuff. This area will eventually be kind of built on, and that's where, and then like this area here, around here and down there too. So that's when it will kind of feel like that this oil well is going to be in the center of the city almost. It's going to look really, really good. Now, more time has passed. We haven't really checked out what we added last episode. So we did this zoning over here, which is now all built in. We got some zoning over there, which is still slowly getting built into. So it just shows you how, you know, slow the growth is at the moment. But I'm hoping with all these additional jobs, there will be influxed the amount of people that they can get coming in right now. This airport needs to have, look at that, wow, 56,000 people. Yo. Needs, what do you call it, more attractiveness to bring those peeps all in. Oh, I could also do a road connecting there. Oh, imagine this. Imagine that road here elevated up and over. Connected to there, and then came down, and another connection here. Oh, it's so connectable, this place is. It really, right, we're going to end it here, guys, because I'm getting too many ideas right now, and I'm not going to be able to implement them all in at the same time. So next episode, guys, then we're officially going to build our oil industry. I hope you're hyped for this. I hope you can't wait. If you are, smash the like button down below. And until next time, I'll see you all soon. So good.